Hello, my name is Glendora Claybrooks, and I'm the president of the National Action Network of Portland Beaverton, Oregon chapter. And we are a social and civil rights organization who acts on the behalf of populations who need assistance with any ongoing social and civil issues that they've experienced either in the institutional, educational institutions or job markets. And we offer these services throughout the Portland metropolitan area. So today we have several guests here that are going to speak to some of their experiences with regard to social injustices within our systems, educational and justice systems, even housing. To the left of me, to the right, I have Don L. Andros. Don will be speaking with us today about an injustice that he experienced during his marching with the occupiers of Portland, an encounter he had with a police officer. So, Don, can you tell us about the things you experienced, what happened, when it happened, and how you feel about it?
Yes. On November the 2nd, 2011, myself and about 500 protesters were peacefully protesting. The majority of them were from Occupy Wall Street and Occupy Portland. We were peacefully protesting all throughout Portland, and I would say there were maybe 480 Caucasian protesters peacefully protesting, about maybe 12 Hispanic people of Latino descent protesting and peacefully protesting, and maybe less than 5 people of Black of African American descent protesting, and I was one of the 5. We were marching peacefully for about a few hours, and then later on that evening, there was one particular police officer from the Portland Police Department standing there, and as I say, I stick out like a sore thumb. It's like 480 Caucasian protesters, and it's less than 20 people of color. So I was walking straight. I had a peaceful sign in my hand. It said something about peace and just peace and love, something of that particular message. I seen at least 30 Caucasian protesters pass this police officer, and he had his bicycle in his hand. And he was just standing still. He didn't hit them or bother them, or everything was normal as it was all day. And I started to notice that he made eye contact with me. He kept inching towards me, but it never came to my effect that he was about to do what he was about to do. And as I got closer going straight, and he kept inching towards me, he had to, kind of go through a little bit and get towards me. As soon as I get close enough, he's inching towards me. He picks his bicycle up like a battering ram, cocks it back, and hits me as hard as he can with his bicycle. And these are mountain bikes. And then I drop my sign, he cocks it back again, and he hits me again with his bicycle. And then I get this guy up off me, pick up my sign, and I kept peacefully protesting. And then from there, a lot of my protesters, they kind of rallied around me, kind of like, just what we do to protect each other. And from there, a peaceful protest went to like not so peaceful on the police part, because they were hitting people. It's at least 30 other people that got hit with bicycles after, but I was the first one hit and assaulted. And then people were, basically, we had to defend ourselves or just protect ourselves, and we kept walking away and just kept peacefully protesting. And it was a woman knocked down by a motorcycle cop by his motorcycle. She was knocked down, and several other people got assaulted the same way. And then it just got more, people just, had to peacefully protest, we had to keep faith, we just kept walking and kept doing our thing and peacefully protesting. And so basically they just wanted a confrontation, the police did. And I later on that night, by the way, the Portland Police Department, they put several different lies in there. They said that I pushed this police officer in front of a bus. That never happened. And then once they started, using their brains, Portland, the TriMet buses have cameras on them, well, good HD cameras that can see everything. I mean, somebody would have noticed somebody getting hit by a bus. There are at least 20 people that were around me at my vicinity that we know that didn't happen. He basically lied. And then they also tried to, once they tried to, we can't use that lie, they tried to say I pushed him on the side of the bus. Well, that lie is still not going to work either, because they have buses, they have cameras that do the whole angle of the bus, all four sides. So that lie couldn't work. And then there was a TriMet supervisor. She confirmed that there were no citizens or police officers thrown in front of a bus, standing in front of a bus, getting pushed on the side of the bus. She confirmed that. She said she's not going to lie for the Portland Police Department. There was nobody thrown in front of a bus. I mean, everybody here has eyes, would notice somebody getting hit by a bus or getting thrown in front of a bus. We would see that. And, so basically after that, I was the only person arrested, and I know I was racially targeted. All the Caucasian protesters said that was racist. Why would you hit this guy? If anybody would have got hit with the ratio of number of people there, it would have been a Caucasian person that would have got hit first. It was no way that I should have got hit except for being racially profiled.
Well, I have a question for you. Don, can you tell me how you felt, or did you anticipate of anything like this happening before you took part in the Occupy movement?
I can't say that I'm not naive. I know our history of people of color, Black and Hispanic descent, living in this country. I know that we are always targeted, treated unfairly, and I know that we have a lot more attention to us because most of the people that are working with the government are non-people of color. They're white Caucasian people. So I'm aware, but that particular night, did I expect to have any confrontation with a police officer? No, I didn't.
Okay, so now since you've endured such unjust experience, how do you feel about the societies, how do you feel about the authorities and how they single out people of color?
I think it's basically criminal. They're people that wear a badge and work for the government, but these are the people creating the problems and doing criminal acts. These are the people that they're using their function to create mayhem and create problems, and they're just like the drug war, the fake drug war. They bring in drugs and then they put it in the Black and Hispanic and poor white communities, and then the people who don't have money, some of them get into drug dealing. I'm not condoning it, but at the same time, I understand why they're selling drugs, because they don't have any way of making money for themselves.
Okay, so what actions have you taken to right this perceived wrong?
With the 500 people that day, and we've educated so many people of how, like, we have a lot more cameras now when we protest. We have cameras from the front to the back. We did that particular night, but as of now, we don't have footage of that particular officer hitting me. But we have more cameras, a lot more cameras. We are more aware. Like when we see an officer, we kind of just keep on doing, even though, if he's inching towards us, we're going to stop and look at him. We're just going to, see what his approach is. What is he trying to do? And, basically, stand our ground. What are you trying to do? And then we just keep protesting. We keep peacefully protesting.
And so one last question. Now, as a result of your experience, what is your trust level with authority figures such as our police officers?
I grew up in Tampa, Florida. I'm from the South. I was raised by my grandparents. My grandfather, Mr. Lee Carroll, was a World War II veteran. He was a man of pride, a man of structure. My grandmother was a good woman. She cooked for the house. She took care of us. My grandfather took care of us. He always worked. I've never seen one man get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day, and he's dressed before everybody, and he's already cooked and all this stuff for everyone. I was raised on morals. I believe that every man and woman has a right to defend himself, protect himself. I believe if you treat people with respect, respect will be given. And also grew up with being taught that the government is always, have their hands into evil deeds, and they're not in the best interest of people of color, Black, Latino, and also poor whites who can afford to live a better life. They're always trying to keep their foot on the necks of the poor people. And that's what I've learned from growing up. I never trusted the police or any type of American government system. And that's the way I feel, and I think they are criminals.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Alondros. Now I will turn my attention to Tammy Tarver. She is the experiencing educational difficulties in the Portland public school systems with her 5-year-old son. And Tammy, can you tell me just what has happened that has motivated you to come and speak out against the activities and the discipline in the Portland Public Schools with regard to special education and its policies?
Yes. Starting at the beginning of the school year, I had contact with the school principal of where I was putting my kids for school over at Ockley Green in North Portland. And my son is special needs. I requested evaluations. I did not get evaluations right away. That did not happen for quite a few months. And between that time of waiting for the evaluations, my son started getting suspended from school. Currently, he has 9 suspensions between October and January when I took him out. And the whole time that this is going on, where he's escalating, he's totally distraught at school, the school's not responding. The school's not responding, the principal's not responding, and ultimately it ended up that basically they didn't know enough about my son's disability to be able to help him. But it got to the point where it, was to the point where the teacher was frustrated, my son's frustrated, they're having to get other staff members involved with the classroom management. And at that point, I pulled my son out because, to me, his mental health was deteriorating. He was going to school and he was being traumatized, and he was in a state of panic all the time. And that's not healthy. And to me, that in itself would have been neglect to keep on sending him to school, knowing you